All right, everybody. I'm Scotty J. You are watching Rock Titan Live, and we have a most excellent guest with us right now. I've been looking forward to talking to her all week long. The lead singer of the Agonist, Vicky Psarakis. Vicky, how are you?
Hello. I'm doing very well.
Yeah.
And you?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, and welcome to Rock Titan Live. I appreciate your time. And you're making your media rounds because, of course, you got Orphans coming out September 20th.
Yeah, can't wait.
Oh, my God. So, we were talking a little bit before off the record, but I got to ask you because, you've been with Agonist, I guess, a little over 5 years now, and you're now, for you personally, you are 3 albums deep. This is your 3rd full-length album with the band.
Yeah.
When they came to you and said, Vicky, we want you to be the voice of our band, what did that feel like for you at that time?
I was a bit shocked because the whole reason I started doing YouTube covers was hoping that something like that would happen.
Okay.
Because I tried, starting up my own band and stuff before that when I was young. But I couldn't really seem to find musicians in like the stylistic, like the genre that I was looking for.
Okay.
Like especially in the 2000s, it was a lot of like symphonic metal, female fronted, or like gothic or whatever, and like that was not anything I cared for. So I was having a hard time doing that, and I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just start doing covers because it's easy. Like I can do it at home. I can like find instrumental versions of songs, just mix my voice into it, do a video, boom, it's online. Like I don't need to rely on a whole team of people. So I was like, in the back of my head, I was like, kind of hoping. I was like, well, what if I get picked up this way, So when it did happen, and it happened like relatively fast, I would say I was doing covers for less than 2 years at that point. Other people spend 10 years doing covers and that doesn't happen, So I was shocked. I was like, okay, no way, like this can't be like real, So it was sinking in slowly, like every message I would exchange, it seemed to be like more and more real. And then we eventually did like a Skype call with the rest of the band so I could meet everyone through the internet and all that. And I think my unofficial audition was to songwrite a couple songs because they were like, okay, this girl can sing and all, but can she write,
Right on.
So I wrote the songs and they liked it. They're songs that are on I Have Providence right now.
I was just going to ask you, so did that become I Have Providence?
Yeah, so the songs that I think the number one song that I auditioned with was Danse Macabre, one of our singles.
Right on.
Yeah, that was the first song I sent to them, like pretty much a full song, and they were like really stoked about it. And then I sent them, what was the second one? There was a second one. Was it Follow the Crossed Line? I don't remember, but the second one was...
No, you're the lead singer. Why are you asking me?
No, I was kind of like just talking to myself.
Fanboy can't be your lifeline here. You got to know this stuff down.
That's true. It's true. I don't remember. It was a half song, but any case, like that got me the spot in the band, and then it all sneaked in. I jumped on a plane, went to Montreal, worked on the rest of the album, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is happening.
Right on. Now, because they had done a few albums before you joined them, was there any kind of transitionary period that you personally went through before you really felt like you owned it, before you felt like, yeah, I belong here, this is my role, I'm the person at the helm, and, no worries, no concerns, like this is the future of the band moving forward? How did it take any kind of time for you to have that sink in, or did it kind of, not really settle in, I guess, until you did 5?
So I think a lot of it was just mentality. So I told myself right off the bat that, like, yes, I'm replacing someone in a band. This band isn't starting from scratch, but in my books, it kind of is starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know these people beforehand. We're writing music together. For all I care, it could just be a new band to me. And I think telling myself that was the best thing ever, because I was treated that way in the band. The guys were all like super nice to me, super accommodating, wanted to make sure I was okay. If I needed help with anything, you know, they were great to me. And that really helped me not focus on all the negative stuff that was going online, you know, all the comparisons and all that.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, you know, when you're writing music, it just, what's the number one thing that matters? It's like that you like it and that your bandmates like it. And then if you feel very positive and good about it, then you release it and you share it with the world. You know, you're not writing music for the world. You're writing it for you. And you're hoping that by putting it out, it'll be able to reach and affect people in the same way, you know.
Right on.
I think the second you start writing for other people and not for yourself, that's kind of where you're losing it. So I did have to, of course, go back and listen to old songs to learn them, you know, to be able to play them live, because, of course, we have to do that. But I never told myself that, like, to try and assimilate and try to copy that style or whatever. It's like, no, that's what existed. This exists now. I'm just going to be myself. I'm going to write to the song what I feel is best. And that's that. You know, I had to be true to myself. Otherwise, I would always feel like I don't belong. And by doing that, I felt like I did belong from day one.
That's awesome. Very cool. Now, you know, obviously you started, you know, you dove in. I mean, right when you joined the band, you know, you start cranking out new music. For you, were there any thoughts of how fans of the Agonist were going to receive the way you did the songs from the first 3 albums?
Yeah, I think especially in the beginning, a lot of eyes were on that, like, okay, I like her voice, I like the new material, but can she sing the old songs, you know? And I'm not going to lie, of course they were challenging. I mean, they're still challenging to this day, not because they're necessarily harder. Like, in all honesty, I think the new stuff from Orphans is probably the hardest stuff vocally. But the fact that I wrote it to my own voice, to my own capabilities, is what makes it a bit easier, you know. So I didn't write those songs.
That's a great point. I was just going to say, it's got to feel different, you know, singing the music you wrote, of course, you know, versus what someone else wrote. But no, I just wanted to pick your brain on that, you know, get a little bit of history behind Vicky and the Agonist, you know, because it's relevant. But of course, let's jump ahead to where we are right now. And again, everybody, we are here with Vicky Psarakis, lead singer of the Agonist, and they got a brand new album, Orphans, coming out September 20th. Make sure you go check that out. And not too far in the distant future, we got a tour that's going to be going on with Ginger. You got to be pretty stoked about that. But we'll get to that.
Yes.
But as far as Orphans goes, I've heard, you know, some other whispers, and, you know, I follow you guys online and stuff like that, so I've already gotten, you know, your thoughts as well as, you know, the other guys, that this is like maybe some of the hardest stuff you guys have done to date, yeah? Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's technical at certain parts. It's fast paced. I know there's a lot of things where, like, the BPM is really high and Simon's like blast beating, and it's like, I see him when we're jamming the song sometimes, I'm like, oof, that must be hard. Like, I don't know, I don't play drums, but, you know. Then there's other parts where I might be like belting out super high notes and someone's like, whoa, that must be hard, you know. I think there are technical aspects of it that, you know, we have to make sure we rehearse as much as possible to make it sound tight, because, you know, the faster the song, the sloppier it can come across live if it's not tight, you know. But at the same time, I can't speak for everyone, but I'm fairly positive that it's written to each one's capabilities. Right on.
So, even though there's some vocal parts in there, let's say that someone might think are kind of difficult, it's like it's written to something that I know I can do versus, maybe there's something out there that sounds easier, but I would have a really hard time doing. So not everyone's voice is different. I mean, not everyone's voice is the same. So yeah, I just tried to stay true to myself, bring in the things I already know how to do or some things that I learned how to do prior to writing this album, and like push my limits, but also try to keep it comfortable at the same time.
Right on. Now, speaking of things that you're comfortable with, one thing that I could tell from the In Vertigo video, you like playing in the dirt.
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh my God. So, like, after you were done shooting the video, did you immediately have to go for a manicure and a pedicure? And how long did it take for them to get the dirt out of your nails?
I wish I could have gone for a manicure and pedicure.
What? That should have been figured into, like, the fundage, for the video. It's like, all right, when Vicky's done this, she's going to have to get all that grit, from under her
right.
face. Were you one of those kids, like, when you were growing up, or were you one of those tomboy girls that just loved playing in the mud and the dirt and getting dirty and stuff? Or were you more one of those girls who wore dresses from day one?
I only wore dresses when my mom made me wear dresses.
Right on. So you getting down and dirty for In Vertigo and burn it all down, that was not a big deal. No,
not at all.
Right.
And honestly, there's always something crazy going on at every video shoot that we do. Some things are harder, some things are easier, but I can't say I've ever had like a video shoot that's just like smooth sailing. There's always like something that Vicky gets put through, but then it's like a lot of times it's my own idea. Like the whole mud thing, digging in the dirt, was my idea. I pitched it to our bassist, Chris Kells. He films our videos.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, yeah, that's a really cool idea. Let's go with it. So it's like I kind of put myself in that position.
Yeah, it's like you were like digging for buried treasure. I thought for sure you were going to get lost out in that cornfield. It's like, we got Vicky, one of the lost children of the corn, going on here. So, checking out both those videos, I couldn't help but notice, there's this common, cornfield theme, like, is this heaven?
Right.
No. we're shooting a music video,
Right.
So I'm assuming that you filmed Burn It All Down and In Vertigo at the same place?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So did you shoot that all in the same time frame then, or did you just go to the same spot, like separate from one another?
Yeah, we went, I think the two videos had like a month gap between them. But yeah, this location was at a farm in the countryside. And Chris Kells, he knew the owner of the farm. He had shot a video there previously. So when we started getting down the ideas of like a place that we can dig dirt and all the scenes indoors of the band performing, they're inside that silo area where I was digging as well. So he was kind of like, let me hit up this guy that I know that has a farm. Maybe we can use it. And we went there and we shot In Vertigo first. And just looking at the outdoors in that whole area where the cornfield was, then we were like, actually, we could probably film our second video here too. So just asked the guy, like, hey, can we come back in like a month or so and do this one as well? And he gave us the okay, and yeah.
Yeah, he gave you the okay until he saw that big bonfire. It's like, you're going to burn down my fields.
Yeah. Thankfully, we didn't, though.
Yes. Did you have to have any fire trucks around or anything like that? Did you have like a whole bunch of fire extinguishers just in case?
No, we didn't.
Really?
And
you just filmed this thing with reckless abandon.
Something like that. We've done a lot of that stuff. But also we had a limited amount of pellets that we threw into the fire to keep the fire going.
Okay.
So the second we started, it was like go, go, go. There weren't any breaks. It was like, okay, Vicky, you're performing now. Switch, Danny, you go, Paco, you go. Did everyone's individual shots, and then we put the whole band there in front too. And it's like, let's go, let's get whatever we can get before the fire, runs out.
Yeah. Now, how much fun is it for you personally doing those official music videos?
It's a lot of fun in that, they're always challenging. Like we mentioned Vertigo, there's the digging. Burn It All Down was challenging in that we shot it, I think late October last year.
Okay.
And that's kind of when...
they harvest. Yeah, the corn is still there. What's up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was end of summer, early fall, but that's kind of when the weather starts getting really cold in Quebec, Montreal area.
Oh.
So that particular night was pretty cold. And I remember like doing my makeup on the side of like in the guy's sort of not in his house, but his porch area there. And I was just like freezing. And then I was like, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. And my body's still freezing, right? And I stand in front of the fire. So my back, I had like the most intense fire because I went first, right? So I got the full blow of it. So like it reached a point, 30 seconds into the song where my backside's on fire, like literal fire. I had to like take a couple steps forward, but then the front of me is still freezing. So I'm feeling these like two extreme temperatures on my body at the same moment, and at the same time I'm performing, and I have to not show that like I'm totally freaked out on my face. And I also know that I don't have an infinite number of takes because the fire is going to go out and we got to go fast. So there was that challenge for that shoot.
You didn't singe any hair, did you?
No, thankfully.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would imagine with that long mane of yours, there's got to be a significant amount of product involved. We don't want anything flammable on that hair of yours because that could have been a catastrophe.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't wear any hairspray. I don't think that day. It's just free flowing, natural.
Oh man, yeah. So yeah, looking at you right now, we were talking about this a little bit ago. It seems like there's a pink thing going on in your set, but there's no pink in your hair right now.
No, it's my camera. Like this shirt is supposed to be black. Like it says Pink Floyd, but the shirt's supposed to be black. I don't know what's up with my camera. My pants are supposed to be black. I don't know why. I turned on Skype today. Okay. It worked like a couple of days ago. It was perfect, but I turned on Skype today like maybe 5 minutes before my first interview, and it was like that. Okay. And I'm like, you know what? I don't have time to fix this. Let's just...
It's all good. Stop. It's all good. You know what? And it's funny because when I first saw pink, I thought it was like more of that Victoria's Secret thing. I didn't even notice the spectrum on your shirt. Pink Floyd is like one of my favorite bands of all time. And I'm not a name dropper or anything like that, but, we got a friend of ours who's actually a saxophone player for the band. Absolutely amazing. You a Pink Floyd fan?
Sweet. Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, you're wearing your shirt.
I'm wearing the shirt. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Waters or Gilmore?
Oh, why are we getting here?
Well, you're wearing a Pink Floyd shirt, No, I'm putting you on the spot. That's not fair. But do you have a favorite Pink Floyd album?
Pink Floyd album? Dark Side of the Moon, probably.
Oh, right on. Have you ever done any Pink Floyd covers? Like you yourself personally, not the band, but have you ever done any Pink Floyd covers, like with any other projects you've been involved with?
Yeah, like I used to do like cover gigs when I was younger before having any bands of my own. So like just playing covers of songs that people know, And I really loved playing Hey You. That's to me that's a great Pink Floyd song.
I'll tell you what. What would be really, really cool is if you put your own The Agonist spin on a Pink Floyd song. How cool could that be?
It could be really cool. And we have talked about, doing more covers. But it's always difficult to find the song to do,
Sure.
I'm sure we will at some point.
Yeah, it would just be, now that I know you're a Pink Floyd fan, and we have something even more in common,
Yeah.
I would love to hear something like that, especially coming from you, because you have such an amazing vocal range and just, the difference between where you go between, the melodic, the cleaner vocals, and then obviously the more guttural vocals, So, Orphans. We are in support of Orphans now that is going to be coming out September 20th, everybody. September 20th, Orphans, all right? You are going to be hitting the tour trail with Ginger.
Yeah.
Do you have any history with Ginger?
So we played one show with them
Okay.
in 2016,
Right.
and that's when we met them for the first time. And after the show, we were hanging backstage, staying in the same hotel afterwards because it was by the same promoter, you know. And we just really clicked, you know. And we've toured with a lot of bands, we've played shows with a lot of bands, but like we did really click, and that doesn't happen often, you know. And since that day, you know, we were talking about potentially touring together and all that. It's just a matter of timing and logistics and all that. So when we did hear that from their management that they're planning on releasing a new album this fall and touring Europe, we were like, well, we're releasing a new album too. Let's hit them up and see. And we did, and they wanted us as direct support with them. So I was like, yeah, this is awesome, you know, because it's like, A, we know them, they know us, we get along, it's going to be a lot of fun. And B, I think musically, we're not the same sounding, like we're very different bands,
Right.
but I think we do have like some similarities that fans will enjoy. Like we mix in different kinds of genres, they mix in different kinds of genres as well, but again, there's like similarities and differences, which I feel like for a live show can be a breath of fresh air for someone in the crowd because they don't want to see the same band twice or whatever, you know.
Right on.
So it's like we'll play our show, give the crowd a different vibe, and then Ginger will come out and give them a different vibe, and it'll be good, I think.
Very cool. So this is all part of the European tour. So when is the Agonist bringing your amazing, you know, music to North America? Or I shouldn't say North America because you got some dates in Canada coming up, but within the continental United States. Is that on?
Yeah.
Is that on the timeline yet? What are you guys doing?
Well, we're in discussions about that. We don't have anything booked, anything solid yet, but there are a couple things that we're discussing right now for like early 2020, so
Okay.
spring.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's not solidified yet, but I think pretty soon we'll have something to announce, and we're gonna make it happen because you know you always have to tour the States. Of course, we're gonna tour the States.
You sure better. I swear, you know. Well, again, everybody, we are here with the lead singer of the Agonist, Vicky Psarakis. And Vicky, thank you so much. And everybody, Orphans comes out September 20th. Make sure you go, you know, buy it, get it. Amazon, all that stuff. And I guess it's on the website too, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, I'm Scotty J, Rock Titan Live. We're out.
Bye.